Hey, Step Siblings. There have been so many new people coming to our channel lately. Thank you so much. We just wanted to say, please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us, and we have so much more coming for you. So thank you for coming, and we hope you stay.
Joining us on this episode.
You got walls and a roof. Well,
for the people living their life like a movie. Real talk between real sisters. Hey, Step Siblings. Welcome back to Between Sisters Podcast. Hey, Step Siblings, I'm Corrine.
And I'm Kayla.
And you're listening to Between Sisters Podcast. Today, we're talking about reality TV shows and how they're basically a sociology experiment, right? You learn things about people, you notice different behaviors, and kind of see how people move in the forefront. Okay, it is all put out on display. We think there's some value to them. We're going to get into it. Stay tuned. Of course, we're starting off our episode with our Sister Soundoff segment. So here we go, 30 seconds on the clock. Sister Soundoff is where we take 30 seconds to pause the conversation and speak our mind. Hear us out. You should be allotted, and it should be socially acceptable, to have one trash TV show that you like. When I say trash TV show, I'm not saying the show itself is trash. I'm saying there's no educational value. There's no inspirational value. It's not like pristine or anything like that. It is just pure entertainment. Maybe the people on it aren't that good of people. You know, maybe, time is up. But maybe they're not good people. Maybe they're not doing the best things that should be displayed.
Yeah, I know for us, our trash TV is Love After Lockup. We love that show, and basically that show is about people who are in prison and they find love with people who are outside of prison. So whether it be through a dating site, a lot of them find them on Facebook, whatever, or they knew someone before they went into prison. They're finding love in prison pretty much. So, and when we're seeing them navigate life once they get out, some of these people, they're scammers, right? Some of these people are in it for the right reasons, but that's the fun of the show. Like, some of these people are talking to multiple people at once, just getting money from everybody. That's the fun of watching the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword, because I'm always that person who's like, why are you giving these people a platform? And then I'm like, okay, well, I also can watch the show and be like, these people are terrible, and like move on from it. But I know not everyone can do that. So I do think it's a double-edged sword, these type of shows. But it is so entertaining to watch the mess that gets into these shows. And like you see just like the sick nature of some people. Like, whoa, this is crazy. People will, like you said, be trying to talk to two people at one time. Even, okay, I'll give you an example, right? This last season of Love After Lockup has been crazy. Like, there was a man on there who was talking to two women separately who they didn't know that each of them were talking to a man who was talking to someone else. He was selling them a dream that he was going to be with them when on the outside. So he staged 2 fake prison releases one day and then the day after. So they both thought that they picked him up from jail. The day after he got out of jail, he snuck back to the jail, put back on his clothes, and acted like he got released again for someone else to, and his whole family was in on it. His mom is like, yep, I got you. I'm telling the one girl. Whoa.
No, that's the thing. Do not trust these people's families. And that's a lesson within itself. You cannot trust other people's families like that, because a lot of times on the show, they are helping the people out. Like, they're helping them out. They know that they're talking to multiple women, and they help them do these schemes. They know they're getting money. Sometimes they get money and they're giving it to their mamas. Do not.
And it's like, you're going to be on the side of your family, but you shouldn't condone your family treating people in a bad way. Like, I'm not going to sit there and support you dogging people out and potentially ruining their lives, because this is not, people's hearts is not something to play with. That's very serious, and it really can derail someone and put them in a situation that's like bad for their health. So like, seriously, one, for them and their depression, two, maybe for the other person who you don't know is crazy. Listen, if you don't watch true crime, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You put them in a position to where they're in danger because the person you messing with is crazy. Stop. Yeah. Like, that is crazy to me. So I think it's so interesting to watch different things like that. Or you'll see people on the show where they're in jail and they are selling a game, right? They call it jail talk. And they are selling a game that they're going to be in it with this person. But really, that's just one of their clients, and they have like 30 people sending them money, and that's their business.
But the really crazy thing is when they're talking to someone on the outside who knows all of this.
Yes.
And they're in on it. They're like, okay, talk to these different clients. And
they have the managers and stuff. So that's our one trash TV show. I think everyone should have a trash TV show that they love. Mm-hmm. Now, this may be a controversial opinion to some people. I don't feel that Housewives is necessarily trash television. People think Housewives, like when you say you watch Housewives to someone who doesn't watch it, they're like, oh, how could you watch that trash? I'm like, it's not trash. This is actually great television.
Amazing television.
Okay? These women are in this isolated group of housewives, and even seeing them throughout the seasons and the way they change as housewives, like when they first come, because they all kind of trickle into, they never stay the same, which no one stays the same, but they all trickle into like this housewife of their city aesthetic, where the show often changes shape. Mm-hmm. I think of Potomac, which is one of our favorite ones, where at first it was about, etiquette and being proper and what's right in this situation and what's not. And then as life happens for them and you look at it now you see like their priorities have changed, things have changed. Like, that is just life. I think it's just, people think, oh, they're really overproduced, but I don't think that they're necessarily overproduced to an extent of you can't see realness.
No, I don't. I think it's very real, right? And I know there are some producing, but I think it's very real. I think the main thing that I've learned from watching The Housewives so many years is really just social politics. Because no matter what franchise you watch, it's all social politics. There's a hierarchy. There's someone who is, the main influence in the group. There's always that person. The group leader. And you can see how it trickles down into how everyone moves and acts. You know what I mean? You can see how those women can, with the right influence, can get people kicked out of the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's through manipulation.
Being able to spot an ice out is something that I can now see in real life.
Exactly.
From watching the show. Mm-hmm. An ice out is when basically two women are fighting, or two men, whatever. Two people are fighting in a friend group, and one person has more influence in this friend group, so they start to ice the person out to the point where all of a sudden, and it happens slowly and then all at once, that person is iced out. All of a sudden, everyone is against them. They have nowhere to go. In either they want to stay on the show, or in real life stay in the friend group, or they have to make up with the person, kind of kiss the ring.
That's that in crazy. Every franchise. So it's like, and then you always have the bone carrier, Sheree. Someone, you know what I mean? Someone who's going to always pass around information. You got to watch people like that. But that's something where you learned, or at least I learned through watching TV. It's like, okay, if this person is always comfortable telling you mess all the time, it's like, what are you really getting at? Like, what's the end goal here? Well,
I think rather than that, it tells me, if you can always tell me their mess, you are always going to tell my business. So it's like the bone carrier is always carrying bones.
Loyal to no one.
It doesn't matter who it is. I was watching, I didn't watch the whole thing, but there was this show on Netflix recently called Calabasas Confidential. And I like started watching a couple episodes. But I don't think I ever finished, but I have to check on that. But it was it was about these kids in Calabasas. It was just like a random show. But there was one girl in this friend group that I saw from the couple episodes that I started. She was like, oh, I'm best friends with everyone, right? Yeah. But she would go have a conversation with one people and then be with the next person. Well, she said this and she said this. Then she'd go back. Well, she said this and she said this. Then go back. Well, she said this and she said this. And when she got called out on it, it was kind of like, no. So it's like you have to very much be careful with who is around you because they're telling your business. And sometimes being that on that level with everyone, you don't have to be on that level with you shouldn't be on that level with everyone where we tell each other everything, this, that, and the third. That should be extremely rare. And some people don't feel that way.
Yeah. But I think, if you're in a friend group, right? And that's what a lot of the housewives and a lot of reality TV shows are. It's a friend group. I feel like there should be an amount of comfortability between them. You know what I mean? So I don't like the sneakiness. I don't like when people are necessarily, throwing a rock and hiding their hand, playing victim. I'm not a fan of that, right? So it's like you do see that a lot. I know for me, when I watch some of these shows, I think to myself, okay, like I don't want to ever be like that, or I don't want to be in a situation like that. So I try to recognize, boom, immediately. Ooh, let me steer clear. Like, and I think different shows have taught me different things. Like Love and Hip Hop taught me so much about relationships I never want to be in. You know what I mean? Like when you think about Love and Hip Hop, all the triangles, the Peter and Amina and Tara, the Jocelyn and Stevie and Mimi, like all the different triangles, the Rashida and Kirk and Jasmine. It's like, you're like, for a minute there when I was growing up, I was like, I don't think there was any good relationships on that show. And I used to be like, is this the world that we're walking into as adults? Like I used to actually get a little scared.
Yeah. I'm going to touch on that. First, I want to touch on the whole thing with the friend groups. Mm-hmm. I do think that watching these shows, I'm like, if you are in a friend group, don't tell anyone in the friend group something that you don't want the whole friend group to know. Even if you feel like, oh, well, this is my close person, this is my close whatever, then you have to do that on a case by case. But if it's just a casual friend group like these ladies are on Housewives, not always, people are coming in, coming out all the time. It's not like they're best friends. This is just a friend group of girls that you get together with and hang out with. If you don't want everyone to know, don't tell any of them. And just keep it like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I've learned from watching television shows, because it gets around. Even sensitive subjects, right? So 2, back to the relationships thing. I think that those cases are definitely extreme on like the Love and Hip Hop thing, because it's like some people are in love triangles and they don't even know, which sucks. I feel like those cases, they knew that they were in love triangles and they just kind of were playing the game. So then what you can learn from that is like, don't sit there and compete with somebody else for the same, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you know that you're both messing with him, and nothing good comes from that, because it's like he just thinks he's P. Mm-hmm. I think that that's if you know about it. Some people don't know about it, and there's nothing like, you know what I'm saying?
And you see that too, like the people they don't know, and now all of a sudden we're here in this crazy situation. And it's sad that like that was happening to those women, honestly, looking back.
Yeah, like it's not something that you can control of like you're in this or you're not if that were to happen to you you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's hard to say other than them knowing about it. All you can say is, okay, I'm not going to compete with someone like knowing that we're both talking to the same guy. You know what I'm saying?
I always was like, when I was watching the shows, I was like, you guys are doing this mess on the show. It's going to come out eventually. They're going to see this. And it makes me think about just how things are always going to come. Like, you know what I mean? If you're lying, if you're doing crazy things, it's going to come out eventually. Like, that's crazy.
Well, I think that some people want it to come out. Like, if you're on a TV show and you know you're doing it, like, that was the point. Like, it looks P to you. Like, and P meaning player. It looks P to you. You think you're the guy by doing that. So I honestly don't think that the people on the reality shows have any remorse to that. So I don't take any lesson from that because I don't take it seriously.
That's true. That just made me think about the Creep Squad. I'm like, those men were like in their 40s talking about Creep Squad. And then we're fighting over who was the leader of the Creep Squad.
What's crazy is I used to watch Love and Hip Hop when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Like I haven't watched it for like a minute, but like I used to watch it all the time as a kid, which is funny because I know a lot of people are watching it as kids. Just even like I've never seen Baddies. But I did used to watch Bad Girls Club as a little girl. And it's like, even watching that, watching Bad Girls Club, you could just see the jealousy on people. I feel like you can see that with a lot of reality shows. I've learned from watching reality shows, them people are jealous of you and they want to try and tear you down because they see who you are and your light and your potential and they want to stop that. So they're going to do anything to tear you down and make you feel bad about yourself. And really, it's not the case. That honestly is putting gas in the tank.
And with Bad Girls Club, it definitely taught me setting boundaries early. Because I feel like if you let things slide, like some of the girls did on the show, like they would just let things slide, let it slide. People are testing you, pushing those buttons. You have to set your boundaries. Of course, those were extreme cases on the show, but even with casual things, let people know what you're not okay with. Because then one, they're going to keep doing it and then you're going to build it up inside and then one day you're going to explode and then you look like the bad guy. And two, you just don't want people playing with you like that. It's not okay.
Yeah. I also think Housewives has showed me, you have to control the way you react to things because you could be right in the situation and because you reacted a certain way, which was warranted. Like someone could be pushing you. If somebody is doing something over and over and over again, and you have to keep telling them, it's not a foreign subject that you would blow up at them when you have to tell them again, right? So it's like the blow up could be understandable, but because you blew up and because you did the most, now everyone's looking at you like you're wrong. Like, oh, well, she's crazy and she's this and she's that. And that sometimes was the goal, right? So it's like
always the goal.
You have to make sure you conduct yourself with a certain manner. Even it makes me think of like fights on the Real Housewives because they don't physically fight, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And when somebody gets to a point where they physically do something, throw a drink. Try and put you know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, and it doesn't matter what was said anymore. It doesn't matter if the person was wrong anymore. Now you're automatically wrong because you've resulted to violence.
Yeah. I was literally going to bring that up because when people push you to that point, right? And it's sad because even there have been situations on Housewives where people are literally saying, hit me. hit me, do something, get in my face. And then when the person actually does it, they're in the wrong now for causing that action. So I can appreciate housewives for kind of having a standard that they set within themselves. Like, hey, we're not going to do that. Right. I can appreciate that because they care about how they're perceived and what they want to show. But then it's also like, we need to hold these other people, the instigators, responsible as well. Because it's not cool to say, get in my face, hit me. And then when someone hits you, now you're like, oh my God, she hit me. Oh, no, that's not like, what are we doing? I feel like that. I don't like that double standard. Both parties should be held accountable because you both created that situation.
Yeah. And like, you see some people on the show get real slick at the mouth and they'll say anything. They'll say anything. They'll talk about you, your family, your mama, your kid, your baby, your baby's baby. I don't know. They'll talk about anything. Okay. And it's kind of like you're supposed to not have a reaction to it. So I do think it's like, but I also think people who stoop to talking like that, watching the shows, I'm like, okay, they're on a show. This is their job. These are their castmates, whatever. In real life, I don't feel like you should surround yourself with people like that. If somebody is always trying to take a jab, even the first time they like take a jab like that, distance. But if they're a type of person who's like jabs, why are you even around them? That absolutely not. We not doing that. Because why are we even fighting? I like to have a good time. I don't want to. I genuinely like to have a good time. Go home. Like, I don't want to be fighting with you. It's not. We just won't hang out, right? Seriously.
No, yeah, and I think that's a good point too. Because another thing I always think about is just reading the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I feel like that can go across of all reality TV that I've watched. I'm a reality TV girl. I grew up on reality TV. I've watched everything. You know what I mean? So, but I can always read a room. I can walk in. You can tell someone gets quiet, or when there's just people are making eyes, or just a shift. Like, I can feel it. I can sense it. And it's from watching the shows all the time. You can see it. And I think it's, of course, different watching it and being in the moment. But I think that's the kind of beauty of reality TV, kind of like just being able to see it from the outside.
I also feel like you can spot a suck up from a mile away on these shows. If someone comes on the show and maybe, first of all, you see how moved people are by like money and power, right? Which is such a thing in the world, but it's just cool to be able to see it out in a well packaged episode put together by the team. Like you'll see a new housewife come in who has maybe more money than other people, or more influence than other people, or have like cool events, and all of a sudden one person's kissing up and one person is mad and trying to find anything. Right? Usually it's like the person who is a leader in the group is like trying to find something, and then other people are like kissing up because they want to go to the spot, right?
Because they're feeling threatened. You know what I mean? It's like, you feel threatened.
That's also so interesting to look at, because that happens in real life where people will feel threatened by you and your presence. And it's just like, oh, well, she ain't all that. Who was even talking about that?
Just by being yourself.
Who even said that? All I did was walk in and sit down. You said that. That's the tea. Bless you.
Thank you.
You said I was all that. And that's something you got to take in with yourself.
I think that relates to being able to decipher what's really going on. Like, people can start problems. You're like, you didn't invite me to this, or you know what I mean? Like, something like that. It's like, what's the real underlying issue? And that, you see that all the time. It's like, you didn't do, X, Y, and Z. It's little stuff. And when you're watching it, you're like, why is she picking at this little, like, who cares about this?
She's trying to build a recap.
Right. And it's like they're building the case, and really there's an underlying issue. of what they really don't like. And it's like, they just don't like you.
Definitely, I feel like these shows are able to show you how this is like, how to identify these little things. Because I feel like when you're watching shows, you could tell somebody's jealous on the show. You could tell somebody's jealous of someone else on the show. Full stop. And even coming back to it, I just watched this show, Bell Collective Birmingham. And there was one person on the show that I was just like, okay, it's giving. You are jealous right now. Because where did you get all of this? Why do you always have a problem? What is it? No one has said any of this, but you have made it up in your mind. And okay, so this person, whenever someone who was close to them would come on the show that never had met the girls, you know, when they have their side scenes with like their husband, or they have their side scenes with their best friend. Every time they had a side scene with someone who had never met the girls and it was just them, and they could be showing things about their life and getting people to see their business and their thing and getting people to enjoy them as a person. They were talking about the girl who I think it was clear that she was jealous of. Right. And the people, the best friend, the husband, they're like, yeah, well, you know, she's like this and you know, she's like that. So you've been talking negatively about this lady to these people who have never met her, and they have this crazy view of her. How do you know all of this and have this crazy view of her when you've never met her? I think that's why they say gossiping is so bad, because you are creating an image of someone in someone's mind that could be far from the truth, but you're taking pieces of gossip and putting it together and formulating someone else's opinion about someone else.
Yeah, another show that I think people don't talk about enough is Little Women Atlanta. That show, one, was just so good, so entertaining. Like, shout out to all of those ladies. I know they haven't
never watched it.
So no, you gotta watch Little Women Atlanta for real. Like, it's so good. But they're seeing them navigate their friend group. You see, one, I'll say some positive things. You do see there's so much loyalty in there and so much love. However, you do see people who are kind of mirroring or maybe destiny swapping. I you know what I mean? People who are just copying everything that you do. Mm-hmm. You do see the lying, and that's a show where I'm always like, girl, we can tell you lying. Like, and I feel like that's something that I just learned. I can tell when the receipts aren't adding up, the facts aren't adding up. You're lying, you know? And it's something, it's a shame to see. But even just with the destiny swapping, it's like one woman on there, Juicy. She's, you know, Miss Juicy Baby. Her.
I see her on the clip.
But yeah, she's like, she is a hustler. She was out there getting it, like on the radio shows, managing artists. Some of them were, some of the girls on there were like rappers and stuff, doing that type of thing. And then you would see someone else on the show, you know, rest in peace to her, rest in peace Minnie, but she would be just trying to copy everything that Juicy did. And I was like, Minnie, you're so lit within yourself. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a case of just seeing people like that. If you're seeing someone just copying everything you do, and it's like,
yeah,
what's going on?
And it's you spot it.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, well, I did this and you, because sometimes it's a coincidence, but sometimes it's like, okay, you doing a lot.
It was bad. Like, not Minnie, Juicy was on the radio, then Minnie wanted to get on the radio. You know what I mean? Juicy was managing the artist, now Minnie wants to manage the artist. I will say she was definitely a loyal friend, though. And shout out to her for that, because she had those twins back.
I think of My 600-Pound Life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and just, it also, My 600-Pound Life shows so much stuff, right? It shows one enabling of just like, sometimes you have to have hard conversations, and sometimes it has to be a full stop of, listen, I don't care. This has to be said. Also, along with enabling, it shows you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So there's only a certain amount of talk and motivational speech that I can do if someone's like, I don't care, do this. You know what I'm saying? So it also shows you can only help a person as much as they want to be helped. And no one is ever going to change unless they want to change. You know what I'm saying? That show is such an extreme of it. Yeah. But it's like, you see these people and they're in such a difficult position. Some of them can't even get out of bed and it's really hard for them. And it's like, some of them do want to change, but some of them are like, I even think about 1,000 Pound Sisters. It took Tammy so long to do something. I think she actually had to be like admitted into a facility and kind of be forced to, you know, make changes with it. Yeah. And it's like, that's a hard lesson that I feel like you learn from the shows.
Yeah. And it's hard too, because, you know, you can say a lot of things watching it, but when you're in a situation where you have to tell someone that you love something just extremely hard, and, you know, you want to make them feel good. That's someone you love, no matter what it is. You know, it's like you don't want to hurt the person you love.
Yeah, I just think that so many reality shows show different things that can help you. Even I know people who are like, they could read a situation immediately because they watch The Housewives, they watch this, they watch that. So, and when you hear like Michelle Obama watches The Housewives, a bunch of like people who you think would not watch Housewives watches them because it is just that good. The analysis, it's like a sociology experiment. And I think even some shows take it even more extreme, like Love Island, which is The Housewives. You come in, maybe you film the whole day, maybe you film half the day. You have your phone. You can talk to your family. You go home, you sleep in your bed. Love Island, you're kind of like completely isolated. Like you can't talk to anyone. You're 24/7 being filmed. Anything will end up a thing. I think that's more of a crazy experience, but they're all crazy in a sense. But like something like that. And then even taking it even farther than Love Island, Big Brother is even worse because that is a 24-hour live stream where at any point anyone can log onto their computer and watch what you're doing, which is like the Truman Show.
That's honestly insane. Like, I don't think I would even want to be in a situation like that. Like, I would feel so crazy. Like, people are watching me at any moment. Like, that's...
So, like, those, I feel like even take it to more extreme, where it's like you can really see some sociology things. You could write dissertations on just human behavior when it comes to these things. But I think that all in all, reality shows show human behavior on the screen naturally unfold. Social hierarchies, jealousy, love, budding friendships, good times and bad times, financial ups, financial downs, people faking it. That's another thing, because, you know, there's been a lot of people coming on reality shows. That's why you can't look at people and be like, oh, well, why they have this, why they have that? Because you look at people who come on reality shows and they got all this stuff. Remember Jen Shaw from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? You come on reality shows and you have all these things, and like you have a staff and a beautiful home and a beautiful family and a beautiful things. And you're like, wow, like she's like, this is amazing. Like, and then it's like she was scamming and went to jail. And it was like, don't try and keep up with people or look at people. You got to focus on yourself. It takes away your joy only to look and be like, you were trying so hard to keep up with this person and they were scamming.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about that situation is she was like the leader of the show at that one point. Yeah. So it's like, even thinking about your friend groups, the people who they were chasing after her acceptance. And then you're like, this is the person who I was like going crazy over, like trying to do. it's really just such an experiment to sit there and watch. And shout out to all the women on the Housewives who have just grown, that we've seen grow over the years, because it's been amazing to watch.
And shout out to just everyone on the shows putting themselves out there. That is so hard, to put your life out there for people to judge and watch and be like, this is a sociology experiment, but like, no, this is my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that is like, whoa. And I think it's an experience that only a small number of people will ever understand. So shout out to them for putting themselves out there. Because I could go on and on for days and days and days. I even think about, you got to watch people who are only trying to get close to you to get some information.
That happens all the time. It's
because
crazy.
That happens on the shows. They get close to the girls, get information, and DM it to the blogs. Because they're trying to take them. You gotta, like, it shows. You think nobody's doing this, and then you watch the shows and you're like, people are doing this.
I know how to read a person down. Okay, that's something I definitely learned. I know how to read a person down. You were not about to say something about me, bully me, nothing. Cause what?
Who said that?
Right. It won't.
Housewives are friends.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Go ahead. I was about to say, just all the pop culture we've gotten from Housewives too. If someone is saying, "Oh, why do you watch that?" Pop culture is literally, reality TV is such a huge part of pop culture.
Yeah.
So we've gotten and gained so much in pop culture through reality TV. All of the sounds, gifs, trending things are coming from these people's sayings.
First of all, 68.5% of all sayings and memes come directly from Nene Leakes and New York.
Come on now.
Directly. From Nene Leakes and New York.
And we didn't even touch on them yet.
To this day. Even the other day, I said to somebody, I'm not going to break a leg, I'm going to get the part. You have to, it's like.
And it's like, honestly, watching Nene New York, we just had a Mount Rushmore thing on one of our other episodes. That's like the top for me. Nene
of reality
TV. Nene
Mount
New
Rushmore
York.
Of reality. Nene Leakes.
Yes.
New York.
I'm like, who else?
Nene Leakes, New York. I don't know.
It's like,
after that, it's like
it's an open field. Yeah, because I'm like, this is gonna sound very controversial, but if someone said Natalie Nunn, I could understand why, because she went on Bad Girls Club, right? And then she kind of ran that house when she was there. But then she took
I run LA.
But then she took that, right, and created now baddies, a whole empire. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. Because not a lot of people have done that. Who has done that? Who has done that, really? So I can see if someone wanted to argue her in there. I feel like that's fair. I don't even watch baddies, but like, that's fair. Mm-hmm. She created something for real. So I don't know who the fourth.
But there's also, then you have to think of like, okay, there are other people who have kind of built empires around reality TV too. Yeah. Then you could say Ryan Seacrest.
Oh yeah. Actually, he should be up there.
Right.
He 100% is up there.
So maybe Ryan Seacrest is up there. And then also think of like all those dating shows. Like you have like, I think there's two people that come to mind when I think of the dating shows. I think of like Holly or Pete and her husband like have a kind of empire of dating shows. And then the people who do like Love is Blind and The Ultimatum and stuff, they also have like several shows about that. But I do feel like Ryan Seacrest is different because he was on a show, like he was in the reality show. And then he won and then has like created this empire of like cultural relevance and companies and all things.
100% he's on there.
Yeah.
100, like that's.
Okay,
yeah.
So we got Nene Leakes, New York, Ryan Seacrest.
Who's the last? Who, Kim Kardashian?
Oh,
Kim Kardashian. And we didn't even touch on the Kardashians, but I mean, that to me is
Kim Kardashian, because it's like that's another person who is still on a reality show,
yes.
but started a reality show and kind of changed. I also feel like when she started, people didn't take reality TV stars seriously. So I feel like she went through that phase of like not being taken seriously to like now.
Yeah, and she's definitely still relevant, culturally relevant.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely changed the game in a lot of ways, you know, with having to do with reality TV and things like that. So I feel like that's a fair take.
I feel like this is a fair thing. But I have so many people who I'm like, they could be on it, they could be on it, they could be on it. But I feel like that is objectively fair.
Yeah.
Like that Mount Rushmore.
I feel like it's very well-rounded.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I think. I think it's very well-rounded because reality TV is like a whole thing, right? It could be, then we have to, I think there should be separate Mount Rushmores of like competition shows. This, because then you could go into like, what's the guy who's like really mean, the chef?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, like, there are so many different types of reality TV shows that like could be on a Mount Rushmore of like people. So I feel like this needs to be broken down more.
Yeah.
So we want you to break it down more. Tell us in the comments who you think should be included in the conversation of the reality TV Mount Rushmore. And let us know something that you have learned from a reality TV show or observed or things of that nature that you can now spot in real life. Like, oh, I know you. You trying to do me how Phaedra did that one. Yeah. No, like, I'm just saying, like, randomly, we had just watched it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like, and we will see you next time. And follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Bye.